Finding problems? That's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Today on Talking Solutions, Purple Stride and what it's all about. Joining us in studio today, Andrea Dupper. Purple Stride, an event coming up very soon having to do with pancreatic cancer. Andrea, how did you get involved with this event?
That's an interesting story. I'm friends with somebody who was deeply affected by pancreatic cancer, and so I came on board. I have my own story with cancer. I'm more involved just because every cancer needs to be gone. I don't think it matters what type or where or how from or who or any of that stuff. We just need to find the cure for everything.
Cancer just needs to be gone.
Yeah.
We're talking specifically today about pancreatic cancer. The stats really are disturbing. I have a friend who has had a loss with pancreatic cancer. You know how we're all on Facebook? This is like my best way of getting educated on stuff and updated on things every day. Somebody posted a video from Dirty Dancing just today saying, do you remember this was 28 years ago? And it was the dance scene, Patrick Swayze with Jennifer Grey. I've had the time of my life. It was amazing. I sat there and watched it knowing that we were going to talk about pancreatic cancer today. Patrick Swayze is, in my mind, one of the main figures that all of us realized when he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He was so positive. I'm going to beat this. I know everybody wants to beat it when they get a diagnosis of that sort. And pancreatic cancer, to my knowledge, is not that common in that it's about 3% of cancer diagnoses, but 7% of the deaths. So I'm believing that when you get a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, your survival chances aren't really good.
No, they're not. And right now, American Cancer Society has put pancreatic cancer above breast cancer as far as diagnosis, but we still have that survival rate, like you mentioned, that 8% survival rate is the last statistic I read. Those aren't great odds, and especially when you think about something like breast cancer that is all over everywhere, and something as silent as pancreatic cancer is coming up, and I hate to say beating that statistic, but it is. It's becoming a much more volatile statistic than any of the cancers that are in the forefront of everybody's mind. It's a silent cancer, I guess. It's not glamorous yet. I hate to say that part about it.
Yeah, I don't want it glamorous, but I see what you say.
But everybody, you see the color pink, and instantly it's a breast cancer thing, and trying to get purple to be like, okay, as soon as you see purple, let's think about those that are in a silent fight with pancreatic cancer.
Which is why it's called Purple Stride.
Purple Stride, exactly.
That's coming up Saturday, April 2nd. Is Town Square the place where you're going to have this?
Yes, exactly. And our event registration starts at 7 a.m. Opening ceremonies are 8:30, and the walk and run, for those of you that run,
not me,
starts at 9 a.m. So it's a whole day full of fun, and you're usually done about noon. There's all kinds of games for the kids. There's food for everybody before and after the race. We've got princesses that'll be there. We've got pageant queens. It's going to be a great day besides just the run and the walk. Awareness will hopefully be raised. And that's it. It's finding a cure and raising awareness.
I did a quick Google search before we came in studio today. Pulled up actors and pancreatic cancer and this whole panorama of these different photos. And of course, Patrick Swayze right there in front. But other people who we've also lost, remember years before that, Michael Landon from Bonanza and Highway to Heaven. Pancreatic cancer seems to take them out so quickly. The stats that I saw today with the American Cancer Society, back when they were making their predictions for 2015, the last calendar year that we can look at numbers, they were estimating, and I'm going rough numbers, almost 50,000 people diagnosed. The balance of men to women, pretty much half and half. And as far as how many people pass away from pancreatic cancer, it's looking to me like about 80%. You know, just during that year, the numbers that they were talking about, it sounds like this kind of diagnosis, this is one of the ones that would shake you to your core.
Absolutely. There's no discrimination. It's not predominantly men. It's not predominantly women. It's not age specific. You don't have to be at the end of your life to acquire this. I know right now we have a survivor who is in his mid-30s, has two little ones, and was diagnosed. And for him specifically, this is something that's highly hereditary in his family. There's a long list of it. So if you think about that you're probably more prone to have this just because of everything that's going on inside your family. But you still remain hopeful, you still remain optimistic, you still fight, you still continue to move forward. You don't let it beat you mentally, even though physically you probably want to give up. You just keep going. And with events like the Purple Stride, you're able to look at everybody who's there doing something for you and for a whole community of people who are probably really struggling with that diagnosis and how to handle anything that's coming up in their direction with a diagnosis.
One of my friends lost her husband not long ago, and it just breaks your heart. This is such a cruel disease, but pancreatic cancer, when I was looking, as I mentioned, the Google search that I did this morning and all the celebrity or public names that you might recognize, people may not know it was pancreatic cancer that took out Steve Jobs. We also lost Donna Reed and Donna Douglas, who was Ellie on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Right.
Actor Alan Rickman. Many people. It's really sad. I won't even go over the list, but if you're curious, just Google it. To have families have to go through this, I want it to stop.
Yeah, look at the statistics. Pancreatic cancer is the third leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. That's pretty high. It's a scary, scary statistic. And there's no specific ways to check for it. You don't have a whole lot of options as far as when you're diagnosed with it. There's incredible scientific tests going on, and people are doing the research, trying to figure out ways to decrease this mortality rate. But without the funding, without the awareness of these things, without glamorizing this cancer, it's not going to happen. So these kinds of events have to keep happening. And unfortunately, when you're able to bring it to light with these celebrities that keep passing away from it, maybe that's what it takes to keep these things in the forefront of people's minds, is that this is something that I can get involved with. It doesn't have to happen to you specifically. You don't have to know somebody who's been affected by it. Just know that you can change the cause and effect of this. The more people that are aware of this, the more we're able to change how people react to it or how people create more awareness of it.
Awareness is key, and starting a conversation is very important.
Absolutely.
By the way, Andrea Dupper is with us today, and we're talking about Purple Stride, which is the event coming up on Saturday, April 2nd at Town Square. And it's all about raising funds to help raise awareness, do research, and find a cure. That's what we want to do. When you mentioned a moment ago, Andrea, that pancreatic cancer is the third biggest cancer killer in the U.S., when you realize how small the numbers are, and follow me on this, we were only looking at, predicted for 2015, the American Cancer Society was saying only about 50,000 people being diagnosed. In fact, the number was a little below 50,000. And for it to actually come out as the number 3 ranking cancer killer in the U.S. means that people with pancreatic cancer are not making it through this. The statistics for survival are very small.
No, in fact, by 2020, it's projected to be the number 2 of all cancer deaths.
Is it occurring more often? And I think that the fact that people are doing more CT scans, looking at your pancreas, and they're able to see more problems developing and existing there, is increasing the number of people actually being diagnosed with the condition.
Yeah, like everything else, it's preventative. It's that maintenance. I mean, you're not going to run your car without oil, or you're not going to do those different things. You're going to make sure that when the check engine light comes on, you're going to check the engine, with your mechanic. These are the same types of things. I think people too often think that A, it's not going to happen to me, B, it's just a little flu, or it's just this. Listen to what it is that's going on inside your body to be able to go and get these tests. If you think that it might be something, go and get it checked. It's that preventative maintenance that will keep us all healthy, and hopefully it's the preventative that keeps our science going and keeps the science able to create more early determination on this type of cancer.
So we'd say, hey, I see the markers, I see the signs, and actually move on toward a diagnosis. We don't want that to happen in anybody's case, but if you have it, I would imagine, like any other cancer, the earlier, the better.
Absolutely.
Are there certain signs people would look for, or is it just general overall maintenance? Make sure you keep up with your doc and make sure that nothing's popping up. From what I'm finding out, it sounds like it's it's not just the public that we're trying to educate on pancreatic cancer, but doctors also don't understand everything that they need to know.
That's correct. There's a lot of new scientific trends, I guess you would say, that are evolving, that are coming to the surface. And it's about educating the doctors, the nurses, anybody that works in that field to be hyper aware. Just because it shows up as a flu symptom, there may be something more to it. Don't be so early just to diagnose it and be done. Do your due diligence.
So we're looking at things like we mentioned flu-like symptoms, maybe lower back pain,
weight loss, acid reflux, common flu-like symptoms, stuff like that.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. Swelling in the stomach.
Just go ahead and see your doctor.
Absolutely.
And the earlier the better, because by the time jaundice shows up and you have the yellowing of the eyes and the skin, now this problem with pancreatic cancer, instead of just existing in the pancreas, the liver is right next to the pancreas anyway inside your body, but it's starting to spread. And once it does what they call metastasize and it starts moving among the organs, you thought your odds were bad with pancreatic cancer before.
Yeah, there's no slowing it down.
Now, the truth is, the odds are about 1 in 67 that somewhere in your lifetime you could develop pancreatic cancer. So the chances are not huge, but it's definitely something we don't want any person that we care about to have to deal with.
Absolutely. And then add in genetic factors that play a role. My niece was just diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. She was 7 when she was diagnosed. And there's something now that we have to kind of pay attention to because diabetes is not a leading cause, but it's one of those markers.
I just had a type 1 diabetes interview a couple weeks ago talking about it at length, and the simple explanation is type 1, sometimes referred to as juvenile diabetes, but it also affects adults. Your pancreas stops producing insulin. Your pancreas is also where pancreatic cancer develops.
Right.
So there's the uncomfortable closeness between the opportunity to develop a pancreatic cancer and the fact that your pancreas is also the source of where your insulin would come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't aware of anything. I mean, just trying to help my sister deal with this diagnosis of her 7-year-old daughter. And then through conversations and getting involved with Pancreatic Cancer Network, my family's already hyper aware of cancer in our family anyway. So now here's a new diagnosis that we have to watch out for. It just goes back to being aware. People listening to your body. When you start losing weight for no reason, get that checked out. If people, when they go to their doctor and they tell them that something's wrong, make sure that you're pushing for these tests, or make sure that you're pushing to get a diagnosis. Don't just listen to, oh, you're just getting older, maybe it's just a flu. And that's with anything, honestly.
Our purpose in talking today about pancreatic cancer and Purple Stride, the big event that's coming up on Saturday, April 2nd at Town Square, we're trying to raise awareness because so many people don't even know about pancreatic cancer, and it has such an impact on people's lives. And if you personally are having you're not well, go see the doctor, really. If you're having flu-like symptoms, if you're having problems with, like we said, the lower back pain, your tummy being distended, there's a lot of different symptoms that could lead someone with knowledge to say, I think really just to be smart, let's check this out. Yeah. It's not that hard to get evaluated.
No, push for those tests. Push to make sure that you're being evaluated correctly.
And push for everyone, including doctors, to be more aware of pancreatic cancer.
Absolutely.
It doesn't happen to that many people, but it really has such a, I've got to say, deadly impact. Because if you, in the last year, were only looking at a max of about 50,000 people in the U.S. being diagnosed, when it comes to cancers, that's not an enormous number. But when it comes to people surviving it, you said 8% survival rate, 93% don't make it past the first year of diagnosis.
It's an alarming number.
Wow. We were talking about the fact that pancreatic cancer, so few make it through the first year. You said the 5-year survival rate is 8%. In the first 5 years, 8%. Okay, 94%. We're looking at stats right here while we're talking. 94% of people who are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer don't make it 5 years after diagnosis. 8% survive 5 years or longer. Do we even, we were talking about celebrities and some of the names that we have sadly lost to pancreatic cancer. Is there anybody that we know of? Oh, wait. The mom. Charlotte Ray.
Yeah, the housekeeper. The house mom.
Mrs.
Garrett.
Mrs. Garrett.
Mrs. G.
Yeah, and she comes to a lot of the...
Charlotte Ray is a survivor of pancreatic cancer. Because, we got a long list of people who didn't make it, but we have one. I'm just happy to see one who made it through this so far. As far as the event, we want to make sure that people are knowledgeable about pancreatic cancer. I'm sure you would have a lot of this information out there at Town Square on April 2nd, right?
Absolutely. Tons of it. Anything that you need to know about how to get help if you are diagnosed, how to find help, any of the markers that you might need, how to get involved, how to get your doctor educated. We'll all be there at Purple Stripe Saturday, April 2nd.
This is a great time of the year to do outdoor events in Las Vegas anyway.
It's so pretty out there in Town Square on the green.
What's the timing going to be?
Your event registration will be at 7 a.m. The opening ceremonies will be at 8:30. And then your walk and run starts at 9 a.m. Important to know is that our online registration will close Wednesday, March 30th at 11:59 p.m. So make sure you're registered online. We need all the participants here to come out to our Purple Stride event. I know there are health freaks all over the place. You don't have to be a health freak. Bring your family out. Bring whoever out. Just come out and enjoy. Make sure you come out and walk. Help us raise this money so that we can continue to support the scientists that are working hard to keep our doctors trained in understanding how to diagnose this cancer. Your pack-up pickup, once you've registered, will be Friday, April 1st from 3 to 8 p.m. at Whole Foods at Town Square. You can also register the day of the event because if you're a procrastinator like I am, you probably won't register until the moment that you walk down there.
I can relate.
It's only $5 more if you decide to wait, and that's great because that money just still goes all to a good cause anyway. So it's something that's totally worth getting up early on a Saturday morning and being a part of. Last year was my first year, and to see that sea of purple coming across the finish line is just awesome. Seeing some of the families.
Tell me about your survivor speaker.
During our opening ceremonies, we ask a survivor to come up and talk, and this year our survivor speaker is currently in a 2-year survival status. He's 34 and he has 2 young ones, ages 2 and 4, a young wife with him, and he is the 3rd person in his family to have this diagnosis, and he lost his, I believe it was grandmother and his mother to pancreatic cancer. So this is a battle for him.
Genetic link here, obviously.
Huge genetic link. And there's a chance that he's passed the gene on to his children as well. So there's an incredible reason for doing this type of research and knowing, and hopefully one day before his kids are old enough to even understand what's really going on, there's a huge difference in the medical community that they'll never have to understand what it is to have to fight and go through pancreatic cancer.
You're talking about your survivor speaker, 34 years old, and he's in his 2nd year battling the disease, which in itself is quite the accomplishment, since we know by the statistics that 94% of people who are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer don't make it past that first year. Mm-hmm. So he's already done that first hurdle and going on his battle. But he's lost 2 other people in his family to pancreatic cancer.
Right.
There's obviously a genetic tie, and he's got 2 little kids that could have the possibility of dealing with it down the line, which makes him really passionate, besides his own battle, in getting the awareness heightened. And I'm sure that their doctors, knowing the situation, now will be watching for any signs of development of a pancreatic cancer at any point in time.
Absolutely. And then, you've got his wife who's incredibly passionate and is all hands on deck as far as this battle is concerned. And when you say it's a family affair, it really is. But then the whole community in the pancreatic cancer, it's a family affair. It's everybody becomes family. It doesn't matter if you have the disease, if you are fighting it for somebody, if you've lost somebody, it's all family, and it's all making sure that you stay family and you keep your family as long as you can.
Understandably. Wow. leading up to our discussion today about pancreatic cancer here on Talking Solutions, I was looking at some of the stats. I had a little bit of knowledge about it anyway, but I've certainly beefed that up. And once you get into the numbers, it is more devastating than you ever could possibly have imagined.
I think once you can tangibly put a number to things, it helps the average person. But when you come out to Purple Stride and you put a face to this disease and you see who it's affecting or how it's affecting, then it becomes more real to you. You're not friends with these celebrities that have passed away from pancreatic cancer, but your neighbor next door to you or the 2 and 4-year-old whose father has been fighting, you can relate to. And those you can look at your own family and say, I have to do something to make a change.
And it's not hard because we always ask as part of the show, what can we all do to help? It sounds like the best thing that you could do today to help in the fight against pancreatic cancer is to get involved in Purple Stride.
Register and then come out and walk. And if you can't register because you're a huge procrastinator like myself, you can come out and register on the day of the event and be there with us and celebrate with us.
And the event is coming up on April 2nd. That is a Saturday morning at Town Square. That whole green area, the little park, it's beautiful. And that's where everything's going to be set up. The website will also give you some generalized knowledge about pancreatic cancer. And I think you'll be surprised when you look into the stats. Check it out at purplestride.org/Las Vegas. I'll make sure that the links and everything are all on our Talking Solutions Facebook page as per usual, along with a podcast of our discussion today. It sounds like a good time to battle something really horrible.
If you want to stand for something, come out and stand with us in purple. Again, you don't have to have it affect you personally. Just go out, make a difference, be a part of something that needs your help.
Andrea is wearing a shirt for the event, as a matter of fact. It's cute. It's purple, of course.
Yes.
And it says Purple Stride Las Vegas, Team Nana, and that would be for your grandmother. Mm-hmm. My friend is on Team Anthony. Mm-hmm. I also see on the logo of your shirt, it says Wage Hope, and that's what we're looking to do.
Absolutely.
Is there anything I forgot to talk about? If we have not invited you personally yet, it is Purple Stride 2016 for Las Vegas to raise awareness about pancreatic cancer. Everybody needs to know about this. Is there anything else I forgot, Andrea?
Come out there ready to have a good time. It's a simple 5K. There's a mile walk with your family. You have little ones. Just come out and see us. There's going to be games for the little kids, face painting, all kinds of stuff that they get to do, food for before and after the run, lots of other stuff going on. But if you ever wanted to feel a part of something, this is probably a perfect place to come and get your foot wet, so to speak, about being part of a community and feeling really welcomed. And last year was my first year to be involved with Purple Stride, and I haven't left, so I guess that's
you're hooked.
So I guess I'm there. But it changes you. It really does, to see how much you affect somebody. It gives you that good feeling.
I'm watching how you've gotten involved, Andrea, because you started actually participating last year for the first time. This year for your second event, they got you in here in the studio with me, and now you're a spokesperson.
Yeah.
Good job. They have spotted some talent. Purple Stride 2016 at Town Square in the park, in the green. It's basically a beautiful place for a fun day with your family and working to help with a great cause.
Yeah, and this year we're really excited because Purple Stride Las Vegas is presented by Conquest Imaging. We're very fortunate to have them involved this year.
Corporate sponsors help pay stuff so that more of the money we raise goes to the cause.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Your corporate sponsor, the owner of the company, his wife passed from pancreatic cancer.
Yeah. Fortunately for us, but unfortunately at the same time, you're waging hope in somebody's memory, and you're waging hope that someday we don't even ever have to talk about pancreatic cancer.
We've all got to work together to do something about this.
Absolutely.
The information is going to be on our Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with a podcast of the interview. And I hope you have a tremendous turnout on Saturday, April 2nd, that morning at Town Square.
I'm hoping so too. Last year was incredible. Come out in your purple, purple face. I know I'll have my purple hair by that time. Purple shirts. Bring photos of loved ones that you've lost. Bring family, friends. The more the merrier. Come out and let's paint Town Square green. Purple.
Paint the town purple.
Yeah.
Andrea Dupper, we're looking forward to it April 2nd. It's a Saturday at Town Square, and it is Purple Stride 2016 Las Vegas. Thank you so much for coming in to join us today.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Still to come on today's Talking Solutions, got Aurora Buffington in from the Southern Nevada Health District. Now that spring, perfect time to talk about farmers markets and something new that the Southern Nevada Health District is doing for us.
We at the Southern Nevada Health District have been working for years on improving access to healthy foods in the community by encouraging our farmers market managers to accept SNAP benefits. So we've been helping them with technical assistance and other resources, and slowly but surely we've had several of our farmers markets come online and are now SNAP authorized. We wanted to take that a step further, and not only did we want to increase access to healthy foods, but we want to increase access to healthy and affordable foods. So we are offering a nutrition incentive at our farmers markets that accept SNAP benefits. For every $5 that you swipe on your SNAP card, you will get a $2 bonus to use on fruits and vegetables.
That's a 40% bonus.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And you can do it up to an $8 bonus. So if you swipe $20, you'll get $8 more to spend at the farmers market on fresh fruits and veggies.
Hope you can stay with us. We'll have the entire discussion with Aurora Buffington from Southern Nevada Health District, farmers markets, and so much more next on Talking Solutions.